Hi.
Hello everybody, you are tuned into Non-Wealth. My name is Nell.
And my name is Lib.
Today's topic is quite interesting. This is one of the questions whereby you like, is it really a question that one should ask? But however, it is an important question, especially if you are a beginner, because I know the property market can be overwhelming.
So now, looking at if you're looking for that special source of how do I actually buy this particular property? Is this property a right property? There are a lot of things that you need to actually take into consideration before buying the right property, right? So now today we're going to list 3 of our important things that we need to look into before we buy the right property, right?
Emphasis on the right property. So now if you go to Property 24, you go to private property, there's so many houses out there, but I can guarantee you that not all of them are for investment purposes. So you need to make sure as a property investor, whether you're a beginner or you have been in the game and you do not want to make a mistake, that you are going for that specific right property.
So, the first thing that we wanted to speak about is the indicators. These are your rules of engagement. I'm sure if you've been in the military and you have served, you know about the rules of engagement. So now what rules of engagement are is that these are the rules that you are going to need in order for you to buy a particular property. So now, what are the things that are telling you or indicating to you that these are the right things so that we can actually buy this particular property? So now, say for instance, the first rules of engagement that we are looking at is that the property needs to be 70% below market value. Right? So now if the property isn't really below market value, then it doesn't actually make sense for me to buy this particular property, right? Maybe once you go on to a totally different thing, such as your development or something else, then maybe it's something different that you'll be actually looking at. But now when you're speaking in terms of rental, right, for a freestanding property or a sectional title, I want it to be 70% below market value.
I mean, with that being said, just to summarize everything, is that we know that we have a criteria when we go into view the property. We know that we have a list of indicators. Does it actually fit the description that we want? So it's not that thing that it's the first property that you saw, you fell in love with the yard, you fell in love with the pool, you fell in love with the jacuzzi. That's the property that you're going for investment purposes. It doesn't operate that way. So there's a whole list of indicators that we have. There's a whole list with regards to criteria that we have, and we ensure that is this the right property?
So now, another thing that we also do, right, is to engage the estate agents. So now the estate agents are the one that actually know what's actually going on in that particular area. Yes, sometimes they might not have the full scope of what's going on in that particular area, but now remember, your estate agents are the people that are dealing with your properties that are being sold in that particular area. Your estate agents are the one that are dealing with the customers. So now make sure that you engage with your estate agents before you actually buy that particular property.
I mean, with point number 2 about getting that right property, especially as a beginner, or even if you've bought that bad property and then you don't want to make the same mistake, is that you need to be able to have the skill of predicting what are my income versus my expenses, my income versus my expenses before I even buy the property. Because what that is going to do, before I even fall in love with the jacuzzi, before I fall in love with that pool, the Olympic pool, now I know that my return on investment will be sitting at so much. How did I get to my return on investment? I used my income. I could predict what is my income and what's my expenses. And now, speaking about predictions, you need to be as practical as possible. I'm sure you've also been in this case. You're in high school and then you had an assignment and then they were like, you know what, you need to go do a case study, evaluate about, let's say, go interview about 10 people, and then you're like, okay, you know what, I interviewed these people and this is the response that I got back, knowing very well that you didn't. However, now you can't use that same strategy in property investing, because if I'm going to estimate saying that now my rental will be 50,000, only to find out that in practical my rental is 10,000, I will be in trouble, because I would have actually inflated my price, and then that will actually catch up with me at the end of the month, because my expenses might be greater than my income, and you don't want to find yourself in that case, because that will actually make you in a situation whereby you are cash flowing negative.
Most definitely. So now, one of the things that we're always talking about is that making profit before you actually buy this particular property. What does this mean? Does this mean that before I buy the property, I'll be getting 150,000?
I don't know, you tell me.
No ways. What it basically means is that you are able to actually project how much you will be making once the deal is actually done, right? So now, are you able to determine all of your expenses that you will be looking at? Are you going to be able to determine your income that you're going to be looking at. Your income at worst case scenario. Are you able to actually look at that? And then are you actually able to make sense of that particular deal in its worst case scenario? If you are able to make sense of the particular deal in its worst case scenario, then good, go for the deal. But if not, you need to make a few adjustments on it.
Sure, that's 100%. Now, looking at the indicator that we have, number 3, we're still on buying that right property, man.
The indicator number 3 is now your mentor, right? So now if you are actually looking for a mentor, please make sure that you're sending us an email at property@knowwealth.co.za. This is when we're going to be actually talking about how to look at property as an investment, and also how do we actually run it as a business so that we can actually grow our wealth.
True.
Wealth.
I like that. I mean, how we look at property investing and what the partnership that we had with our clients is that let's be realistic, guys. Let's put everything on the ground. Let's play the open card game, man, so that you do not only know what the good things are with property investing, that you know what, I'll be at home, financial freedom. Let's also speak about the negative things that are in the game, what's happening in the game right there, because now that will actually prepare you mentally, so that when you go into property investing, you can already do your risk management. You're not exposed to all these bad things that can happen to you, and then you only find them out. You know what, property investing is a scam. Property investing is not a scam if you do have that person who'll be honest with you, to protect you even through when you're going through the bad things, not just tell you that you will become a millionaire tomorrow. And we know that for sure that you can't become a millionaire tomorrow with property investing. It's more of playing the long game. And if you want us to do that for you, you want us to hold your hand from the stage of, is this the right property, right, until how do I scale? We are willing to do that for you, only if you are serious about property investing.
Most definitely. If you have watched this far, please make sure that you have subscribed, and make sure that you're sending us an email at property@knowwealth.co.za. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Hope you guys have subscribed, guys. Hope you guys have subscribed and you hit the notification button, because what we're doing that's quite exciting is that every month we have a live session whereby we speak about relevant topics in property, and we'd like to actually interact with you, because at least through the live sessions we are gaining more momentum, we are gaining more inputs from you guys.
Noah?
Signing up.